The text that we
A new principal joined the Meg family, and he's been just as committed to my endeavors. He embraced my program and supported my passion. While serving on a state FCAT review committee, I heard about Achieve 3000. The final step is the thought question. The students must make a claim related to the article, support their answer with evidence from the article, and explain their reasoning with logical commentary. I can respond to their writing with specific feedback sent to the individual student mailboxes. The teacher-generated reports within the program are most compatible with my reward system. I share those reports with the students regularly. I can pull reports individually for conferences or for the whole class competitions. When the students realized I could tell exactly what time they finished an activity and exactly how many times they logged on to the program, they were shocked. It holds them accountable. One of the reports even analyzes student mastery of standards. I can assign articles based on individual need. The reports can be tailored by specifying date range, activity type, class or individual user, content area, etc. I can even see what each student is doing at home. Periodically, Achieve will offer contests. I have to be careful to continue to stress quality, not quantity, especially with those sneaky 8th graders who have that get her done mentality. Specifically, I want my students to understand the lexicons of the text they are reading. I began by introducing the Career Center component of the program. Once the students chose their specific goal for a career, they get to watch their lexile grow to meet that goal.
The chart works by, when we first started off, we got our lexile. Mine was 720. And then every time our lexile changed, we get a sticky note. And then it has the new lexile, and we put it on top. And then as we go, we can change color as our lexile gets higher. And then we make sure that we can see our color, and that way we can see our progression in the chart. And that's our lexile chart. And that's how it works.
Because the students take ownership of their own progress and they work hard to increase the lexiles of the text they read, they become very good at self-monitoring their growth. They are taught early that being a proficient reader according to state assessment is an important goal, but I am looking for continued progress and improvement while developing skills to be a lifelong learner through reading. They now look forward to the monthly lexile adjustment so they can chart their own progress.
This is my lexile improvement over the months and how I've improved. Right here, this is how many points I go up a month, and this is how total altogether. So altogether, this year I've improved 140 lexile points out of everything. And right here is my goal, and my goal is 1,200 lexile. And if I can't reach that, I was getting to 1,185 lexile.
When I go home, or here, I chart my stories that I have gotten. And as you can see, these are the levels or scores I have gotten. And the articles are super fun to learn. And
For instance,
I like music, the topic, and there's a little search bars where like you put in a name or a topic and it will search related stories on it. And so I typed in music, and all of these stories right here you see are related to music.
Knowing that motivation is a huge factor, I developed incentive charts for each class. Secondary students love a good competition, so I set up long and short-term rewards. Candy is a simple reward for scoring an 88 or 100. A Taco Bell or Whataburger gift certificate is awarded for top daily or weekly scorer.
Oh my gosh, look, third period's got 40.57. Awesome. Fifth. Who's the highest? Third, right? Third.
Oh, third.
Yeah. Get it right, Dario. I don't know if you guys can see, but if you look at the chart over here, first period, remember they started out at 18. Here comes another third period. Let's go. They are determined to beat y'all. jumped from 18 to 23.77 today. Second period has gone to 38.31. They thought they had you beat. And they thought they had third period beat. And fifth period thought they had everybody beat. They are 39.9. Third period came from behind today and has shocked everybody. 40.68.
It's disappointing, guys.
So now they're all coming back. Those three people at the computers just came back, and they're all in third period. So they have come from behind, and they are determined to beat you.
We have partners in education who donate gift certificates, which I incorporate into the reward system. We all know they'll work for food. Best of all, they learn to praise each other's success and support each other during collaboration. With this built-in relationship, progress is inevitable. This culture for learning is established at the beginning of the year when I train my students on routine, reality, and expectations of my program.
This is our incentive chart that we chart all the stories that we do. Like every time we get a story above 75, we put them on the chart.
You can kind of see the difference between the first 9 weeks and the second 9 weeks.
How is it different?
We weren't very active at all the first 9 weeks. And then they started doing activities and stuff, like competitions, and then we were interested in it, so we started doing more and then more.
So as long as I beat Trent, I'm okay.
And why is that important?
Because he has a higher lexile than me and I want to beat him.
Some of the unexpected benefits of the Achieve program include BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device. It happens naturally when students get permission to come back to my class during lunch and after they've completed work in other classes. Sometimes I don't have enough computers for extra visitors, so I am slowly beginning to allow students to bring their own devices. So far, it's working beautifully.
So on computers is all taken, so I use an iPod.
Another unforeseen benefit has been the cross-content integration. As expected, kids tell me all the time that they've learned something from an article that came up in another class. I can switch the default among choices in the class settings, or search the archives to provide custom lessons for every article. For example, in middle school I can choose civics, or a high school teacher could select U.S. history. When studying a specific topic in another content area, I can assign relevant articles via email with attached graphic organizers. This works great when students are absent as well. When I consider the challenges, the number one reality of the program is that the teacher has to monitor the students, both by tracking the data closely and circulating around the room when students are on the computers. Programs such as Achieve 3000 cannot be used as a babysitter, and it's important to develop conversations around their progress in the articles they're reading. I also am open to student-generated ideas since there is more buy-in. I love empowering students with choice, and I find adding variety to the program prevents boredom and burnout.
Their student suggestions, people have been writing suggestions of stories that they have done that are listed on the board. If you would like to do one of those, you can look it up and you can add to that list if you want to do a suggestion. That's when you have student choice, which you kind of have student choice today with the 5 articles that I've assigned plus what's on there.
During my first year of implementation, I have found a few other challenges. I have to stay ahead of the students by reading the articles assigned. I stay aware of the tendencies for boredom and burnout. I constantly tweak contests and incentives to keep the interest high. Also, with varied grade levels in my classes, it's important to stay on top of behaviors and provide clear expectations. And because there are varied abilities, it is important for me to set a consistent vocabulary instruction in place that develops the use of specific Tier 2 words.
These are the 9-week words. Right? These are our vocabulary wall. This is our vocabulary wall. And this is what we take every Friday, but we're not taking it this week. We write it down on a line sheet of paper so we can study them. And most of the time I'm passing them, and there's some good words, and Ms. Bourne wants us to use them when we talk to people. These are the cards that we use to write them down in. But this isn't really line sheet anymore. We used to use line like this, line sheet like that. And this is what we use. We have our names, and we go through a lot of them. Ms. Bourne has to bring back a lot of people for us.
My aide and I monitor student activity by checking individual reading connections or graphic organizers before I allow them to go on to the activity. This gives me a chance to conference one-on-one with writing skills while checking briefly for comprehension. I constantly change the requirements within the 5 steps to reach various learning styles. However, in the future, I plan to develop my knowledge of the Writing Center and stock market components and bonus lessons and stretch activities. My students also enjoy completing the math word problems. I know there is definitely a need for continued professional development on Achieve 3000, but when I think about the positive impact the whole program has made on my students, I am committed to learning as much as I can.
I think that Team Biz or Achieve 3000 is different from other reading programs because it kind of helps us interact more, and we can do it with our whole class instead of just individually all the time, even though we do it individually. And you can do it different ways. It's not always the same thing.
I just love it. It's very interesting now.
So bold, they forgot